Well, hello and welcome to the season finale of TTML F4. I'm back, your host Conti, and today joining me again is my trusted companion in the comms box, Mr. Funky Chicken.
So it's been a while. It's the first time this year after missing, I think, three combined races, which is a bit sad. I missed you a lot over the Christmas break, but it's good to be back with you. How's your day been?
And I think our voices is not coming through again. Oh no, it is. It is. I'm really sorry for this. Yeah, well, my day has been great. I've been sore. Uh, because I've been working out 5 days. But besides that, it's great, and really looking forward to this season finale. Although we have 11 drivers.
Yeah, attendance this season hasn't been the best, unfortunately, but they've always made up for it with some quality racing throughout the race and the entire season, where we've seen Yellow pick up the championship, and I think especially quite dominant actually.
Yeah, he did. He did. He is our champion here today. And not only him, we have another champion as well driving today, and that's Mr. Kiki, because Alfa Romeo also picked up the Constructors' Championship today. Uh, Last week, I mean.
Yeah, I hate to say it like this, but I think it was mainly Yellow that picked up the points. But Kiki, sorry, was always there in the races, picking up as much points as he could, even after he was picked. I think towards the end of the season, he started to just getting a little bit more credit for the game, but I think the early start of the season, consistent top 10 finishes has helped a lot.
Yeah, that helped massively, and yeah, I must say, even though Kiki didn't have the greatest of seasons, he stayed in there. He didn't quit. He stayed in the race, finished, even though he spun a couple of times in well, most of the races, and that definitely helped in the constructors championship.
Yeah, so I'm currently on board with Yellow on his first lap in. I think there was some mention about starting at the back of the grid, but it didn't care to. He's been pushing on throughout the lap from 8 to 10 timer. Misses the apex a little bit, didn't carry as much money as previous life, but I think he hasn't done any practice on this yet whatsoever. It's easier to have a little bit of a delay for his game to down, but it shows he just hasn't really been playing the game much. He was 27 here in the first section, which I think is a pretty strong time.
Yeah, I think it does, and even without practice, we have seen Nelly up there all season long. He's well, because of that, he's of course our champion. And I must say, let's get my. I'm so badly prepared today. I'm really sorry for this. Let's get the telemetry and everything up so we can actually see his sector times here, because that is quite important in racing. And I must say, so far, it looks relatively stable what he's doing out here.
Yeah, just it don't look like he's pushing too much there, just trying to keep the power in the limits, which I think it's always crucial to get a good bit of luck on the board, especially on a track like Singapore, where it's mistake prone, it's easy to run like a little bit wide and tap the wall, and it's sometimes being damaging and everywhere. So I think he's just taking it a little bit easier in his first run, but he's still having really good luck so far.
Yeah, he definitely does. And well, I have a surprise for you. We talked about this a little bit before we went live. That, in my experience, as Nelly finished off his first lap in a 1:37.8 here, it tends to be a wet race, and Nelly just put in it's going to be a wet race.
Oh wow. So that's gonna spice everything up then, as this track is very difficult to drive in the dry, let alone in the rain, where the tires are just sliding all over. I think we're going to see quite a few wind damages, unfortunately, just because of the nature of the track.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, the barriers are just there around every corner, and one little mistake, outbraking yourself one time, could just be you tapping the barrier somewhere and losing your wing, or in the worst case, losing a wheel. So I really hope all these guys will finish the race today, as IRL Dundee has quit his disqualifying session. So I'm not sure if he has a qualifying ban, as Kiki, who I was just on board with, scraping the wall there, but seems to be okay to continue this lap.
As I was currently on board with Mike then, is just gone a bit wide for a top 6 in Holiday his lap time, but he was 3 times quicker than Nelly through sector 1 alone. So I think he's got a lot there to show. Ray Leader's got on top 35.7 of 2 seconds clear of our championship.
Yeah, 2 seconds is definitely a lot of time there. So great job from Remida. And yeah, last week he didn't have the best of races, but definitely he was in a good flow. So maybe last week he just took a day off, and he's going to continue that today.
Yeah, I mean, going 2 seconds to clear the field is just ridiculous. Keeping up to 30 seconds, still over 2 seconds behind Remida, and that's one really great lap there from Remida, which I think might even be in the position already.
Yeah, it's still a long qualifying session here, but it's definitely a time to look out for. And yeah, I think a lot of guys are gonna be having trouble. Well, just getting an equal time, let alone get a better time than that. As Kiki just finishes it off his lap with a 1:37.0.
Strong time there from Storm as well. Just, I feel that Remida here might have gone for a bit of dry setup, which I think that's going to let him down in the race if he has done, because everyone else being over 1.2 seconds slower. That's nothing like this division whatsoever, so I think they've all compromised themselves just to make sure they can survive in the race, so if Remida has to keep up in danger.
Yeah, definitely. If he is running a dry setup, he's going to be in danger for the race. As I just was on board with Mr. Joe Corboy, who put in a respectable time himself of a 1:36.9.
Zach Corboy has definitely been one of the most consistent drivers this season. He's never really had the pace for the win, but he's always been around like the top 5 or top 6 area and just picking up their points week in and week out, which I think has led him into the battle for the P3 standings at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely not showing off. Well, not showing off some really crazy speeds there, but as you said, in the race he's just really consistent, fighting for his places. As I was on board with Nelly, and I thought he was gonna be invalidating this lap, but he's already on 3 lap all soft tires, so I'm not sure what he is trying to do here.
I think he might be getting practicing for this race already, just throughout the quality session, but that's what I was saying about Corboy in the Battle P3. There are currently 4 drivers in contention to conclude at the moment, which is Storm, who's currently P3 at 115 points, Remida, who has been on form for the past few races on 112, Corboy in 5th on 111, and Dundee in 6th on 105, quite way behind, especially because the tiring quality is definitely putting on the back.
Yeah, and I am just on board with FRL Charlie. Let's talk about Charlie a little bit, because Charlie most of the times is up there. We have seen him, well, leading races up to comfortable margin in P2 as well, as he puts in the fastest sector 2 there. But in the race, hasn't been the luckiest ones, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Charlie because his floor speed has probably been up there and maybe even past the yellow, but he's definitely been very unlucky with a few mistakes, but he's also made a few too many mistakes in the strategy. I remember 40 mile spring time there, which definitely got him right the result when he was probably the fastest on the track that day.
Look at this, he finishes off his lap with a 1:36.0, so only 3/10 of Ray Meter there, so a great lap from Charlie, and that just, well, puts a point behind what you were just saying about him. He may be faster than Nelly, but in the races hasn't really come together for him. So let's see, maybe the season finale he can shine again, he can get in a good result, and maybe well, take that on into the next season.
Yeah, we can hope so. I think he'll definitely be one of the drivers looking to step up maybe to X3 next season, and all Ella's on to all that. It's actual on that side, right? Who's it on, but it's a bit surprising I see Ella because he hasn't made mistakes this season, apart from, like I said, Canada, where he just picked up 200 cars, which was just rubbish and like that.
Oh, and I'm a little baffled about Nelly here, because I was just thinking, he didn't get in any practice and he wants to get a feel of the track, but the track is going to be completely different when it's going to be raining in the race, so it's kind of pointless here. Or he just wants to start from the back because he's already champion and just see where he can finish today's race.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying earlier in the week about starting last. I'd say if he was starting last, he probably would have just retired at the start, but obviously about it, I'm not too sure on that, but yeah, his time with the 37.8 definitely represents the season and his pace.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I'm just on board with someone who didn't get a lot of attention this season, also because he's been away for a couple of races, just rejoined. Mr. Kermit, who, as in his outlap, I think he damaged his wing there, so he probably is going to be coming in the pits and just try again after a wing change.
Yeah, it was a bit of a contest nurse there from the front to the first one of the night. I'm sure Kermit will get his wing changed and just push on us. He's staying out with a damaged wing. I think that's about it. This and next lap already. Got a long way now to drive back to the pits there, which probably cost him this whole session.
It most definitely does. So let's check in with Storm72 UK. Storm, also one of those really consistent drivers who always performs on track. Isn't necessarily the fastest out of the bunch, but most definitely in the races it's just guaranteed. As Ray Meter puts in another fast lap with a 1:35.6, so when you thought he had a fast time, he just beaten his own time here.
And that time is just unbelievable there. 4 tenths clear of Charlie, who, as we were saying once again, he's probably the fastest in his Division 1 repairs. That's incredible lap there. And I think we'll probably help to see a replay of that at the end of the quali section.
Sounds like you want some Charlie advice, or some Ray Meter advice for your own race this Sunday. Storm did improve on his time, 0.5 of a second, and that puts him into P3 with a 1:36.5, but still almost a second clear of Ray Meter.
Yeah, it's a very good time as Callboy now running the 36.3, so just beating Storms. These two just are glued to each other at the moment with the position. Callboy, the cat dog is pushing on Finnable up. No use. I mean, these two have massive fight going on at P3 standings, and I think the favourite here would probably have to be Storm, who's already in the leading position with the points.
Yeah, he most definitely is, and he's really consistent out on track. Doesn't do any crazy stuff, as Ivan Mike just improved on his own time here. 0.4 of a second won't put him up into the first position, but if he can find some time here, he can definitely win a couple of positions there, because, well, Joe Corboy, Storm and Storm aren't really far apart. It's only 0.2 of a second between those two.
Just showing how close the midfield, especially been this season. He's coming up to the line there. 36.3 and goes just ahead of Callboy by half a second. That's a stunning lap there from Mike. He's lost himself onto the second row as Kermit has retired from session in the pits.
So Kermit calling it quits for the qualifying session, but who knows what he can do in the race, starting from, well, not last probably. There's going to be Dandy or Noah J, maybe, if he doesn't go out on track. But yeah, he can fight back, and still only 11 people driving here today. So, well, a lot of points here for the grabs. If you can keep your wing on your car, don't do anything crazy, you can score some big points here today in the season finale.
Yeah, and it's all to play for as well. The standings are still really tight here. Charlie's currently on a really strong lap, just heading out of there for the hair, just pushing down to cross the second section split, and how far is the time? 2.5 tenths. This is slotting maybe just a tenth and a half, behind Ray Meter. And if he can have a good pass out there, I think he's got a chance of jumping there as he hits the apex there. Just right on the limit of track limit, there's a little bit of a wobble on the exit, but he gets all turned across nicely. He's turned in right against the wall. This is an extraordinary drive here at the moment. It's all up against the barriers at the moment. It's taking all right curves and settle the car a bit, and he's back now.
Yeah, I must say, it really looked like a strong lap. I mean, he was taken every inch of the track here, and that is really tricky because the barrier is just there. So I didn't expect him to go above Ray Meter in P1, but most definitely get some more breathing room between him and Ivan, Mike, Corboy, and Storm.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising there from Charlie's now. Mike is just retired in the pit lane. He's definitely left himself at risk here, as I think Corboy and Storm will definitely be able to find that time if they hook up the lappers, which is one of the most tricky tracks to hook up at. Yeah, it's gone from 300 flying Charlie, and I think Charlie's probably already just regretting his mistake a bit there. He's not finishing the lap because he still would have gained at least 2.5 time post there.
Yeah, most definitely, and yeah, I must say, 4 laps of practice, which we all witnessed, was all it took for Nelly to well, not secure a P3, but getting there before the ending of qualifying.
Yeah, it just shows how it's been this season. He's been the quickest driver to adapt to every single situation he's thrown his way. And as I just said right a second ago, that is why he is champion of the season well after all.
He is, and I just switched to Joe Corboy, who was behind Atlas Coppo here. These guys are, well, I wanted to say old, but it's only Ray Meter, Corboy, Storm, Kiki, and Atlas Coppo are on an outlap at the moment. And, well, getting a try to win a couple of positions here. But I really hope he takes some distance before starting his hot lap, because being so close to a driver isn't good for your hot lap. And that's exactly what he does now.
Yeah, so you just get affected heavily by the dirty areas. I'm currently on board with Remy, just going into turn 1. Slows the car down as it hits the apex and uses that curve. Right at the limit is invalidated already. So that Remy just not going to be improving on the car in the 26 seconds left.
He does. So let's see what Storm can do here. Can Storm beat Corboy again? Corboy is just a couple of corners behind him. But does he have what it takes to beat the time of Corboy and maybe even Ivan Brian Mike here? Let's wait and see. He cuts off 1/10, more than 1.5 tenths of his personal time so far. So it's a great start for Storm here. And yeah, let's see what he does in the final 2 sectors of the qualifying session here.
And on board with Corboy, and he was a 10.5 after his first sector as well, so there's neck and neck between him and Storm in this battle. It's really exciting here. Mike is already retired from the session in the pit lane. I think could be a threat of dropping down to P6 there if these can get the times on the board. There's no adjust, so a lap time up into P7 and 36.6.
And Storm 2/10, he is able to scrape off his time so far at the end of the second sector here, so it's really looking good here. But I think, well, hearing from you what Corboy did in his first sector, he needs a little bit more.
This Corboy's been 5.5 tenths up after his second sector. Wow. I think he's kind of challenging Charlie to keep his last sector nice and clean. Gets it turned in beautifully round onto the bridge. Misses the apex by a little bit, but still carries good enough minimum speed there. I think this lap will probably be up down for Corboy to keep it clean through the final 2 corners.
Yeah, and Storm just jumped in there, but here's Corboy coming up to the line for his final qualifying lap of the season, and it's a 7/10 improvement, which puts him on the first starting row here. So great lap from Corboy.
That was an insane lap that other than Bosch that the entire lap. It's just hit most of his apex. It's probably lost a little bit in the tiny sector 3, but nothing too much, and only 0.5 tenth off of Remy. For someone who's not meant to be that great in quali, but brilliant in the race, it's definitely a good sign for the Irishman.
It most definitely is, and well, that's qualifying done. So Ray Meter with a great qualifying time, but in the end, only 0.5 tenth clear of Corboy, who is starting in P2, Charlie starting in P3, Nelly from P4, Ivan Brian Mike from P5, Storm starts from P6, Noah J P7, Kiki P8, Atlas Coppo P9, Kermit P10, and Irel Dundee does have to start from P11.
As I've currently just been informed there by one of the fellow admins that I think our audio is a little bit too quiet, so you might want to knock down your master volume if you could quickly. As It's torrential rain around St. Pod. I think this is full wet conditions, which it is. Wow.
Yeah,
This is going to be interesting.
it really does look like that. Let's check. What was expected from me again?
The master volume should be knocked down a little bit because apparently our mics are a little bit too quiet at the moment.
Let's see if we can fix that. Here it is. Please let me know if this is better.
Hopefully we'll get a message soon confirming that, but let's go on to the rest. Yep, they are on the full wet tyres.
Yeah, so really tricky conditions here for all these guys out here. I mean, full wet race here. I'm not sure if it's gonna be staying like this for the entire session, but it is full wet conditions here, and probably it is gonna stay like this. So, well, it's gonna be really hard for these guys. The plus side of this is you can most definitely do it with a one-stopper easily, and tires don't tend to overheat so much, the wet tires.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to help some of the drivers out here who will be struggling with the overheating, especially on them soft tyres, which around this track are just unusable. Maybe that's why we saw more people going for the softs and the since it was, wetting the race. In the actual race, if it was dry, if you were starting with soft tyres, you'd just be on a massive disadvantage there to the medium runners behind us. I think the medium runners will be quicker even just after lap 1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, soft tires are going off so quickly. I mean, it's a lot of corners here, not a lot of long straights to pull your tires down. A lot of, well, medium speed corners as well. So really tricky, but we don't have to worry about that because these guys are on the full wet tires. And talking about the full wet tires, who do you think in these tricky wet conditions are gonna be our, well, podium guys for today?
So, I'm probably going to commit to his curses really badly, but I remember Charlie wishing for rain, and I think he'll probably be the rain maestro of this session. I think probably for this hour-long race, which I'll be expecting, I think he'll come out in P1. I'll say Joe Corboy in P2 and Yellow in P3. What about you, Quentin?
Yeah, well, I really think it's hard to to predict this one, but I think you know what, Joe Corboy is going to be finishing on a high. I think he's going to be ending up in P1, Nelly in P2, and let's get someone from further down the grid. Noah J in P3.
Yes, so I think Kermit has had a bit of an issue on his formation lap. He's just quite far behind the pack, but he's just getting onto the end of the pack now. So we're going to hopefully be getting started in a minute's time.
And I think everyone is there now. So let's get a good camera angle here. Yes, here we go. Everyone's revving up for the final race. And the red lights are coming on, and as they go out, we are drive-through penalties already from Joe Corboy and someone else, but I didn't see that so Remy the Corboy having a big gap here, but probably these guys both jump started here. So and further back behind, Kiki already victim to the wall here, well, tumbled down to P11.
The contest goes in full effect there from me once again, as I think Raymida jumps to start and Corboy just reacted to Raymida there. So front row of the group already starting off the drive through penalties.
Yeah, and they have to serve that really quickly, but who knows? In these conditions here, as I'm on board with Irwell Dundee, who is, well, doing a bold move, trying a bold move here, but Brian Mike didn't let him pass there, so it was a good try, but really bold there because the wall is just so close. He tried to take the inside. He gave a little bump there to him. So Dundee really wants to make a move on and win some positions, which he, well, does here because he passed Brian Mike.
Yeah, it's a good start there from Dundee from the back of the grid as Everyone else is pretty much just staying in position in the top 5. We've got a yellow flag down the back of that Atlas Corpo's around. And yeah, I think that's a bit disappointing after really leaving qualifiers, as yourself said, very quickly, which was Charlie.
Yeah, it does. And well, let's switch back because Dundee has found a new victim, and that new victim is called Noah J. Well, really putting the pressure on there, not as close as he was to Ivory Ryan Mike, of which he's already a second clear, so really flying here. But look at this, is he gonna try it here? No, he doesn't dare to do it here. It's really, well, almost impossible to overtake there. But he's letting himself known there to Noah J, and well, lets him know, I want to pass you, so get a move on or get out of the way.
Oh, boy's already going into Surge drop kick out with Noah J's already struggling on forward lines. He's already 3 seconds behind Storm Lopez. We've got another yellow flag, which is Kiki who's around at sector 3. As Corbo's now going to plummet down all the way to the back of the field. I think he'll stay ahead of Kiki and wind up competing. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he does, but in these conditions, I don't hope there is one, but I'm expecting at least one safety car here. But, well, who knows? And, well, so far, Noah J is struggling, but he is able to keep Noah J Dundee behind him. And another thing, in wet races, there's no DRS. So they have to make all these overtakes on their own without the help of DRS. So that makes it even more trickier to, well, to make your way through the pack.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult without the use of DRSs. If you're running high winds to make sure you can stay on the track in the race, you're going to have to find a lot through sets 2 and get some brilliant exits out of the corners, otherwise you're just going to be stuck like a train. You won't be able to pass on the car ahead of you, it isn't as fast. Dundee's definitely got to be smart with his driving there if he wants to make his way through the field and prove his dominance, which I think he showed last week out with the win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you are most definitely not mistaken. The race, I was well, in the commentary box together with Matt Tibbers. And once again, thank you for well, filling in the spot of Funky Chicken there, which he did a great job at. But as you said, Arnold Dundee, dominant victory last week. So he most definitely found his pace and consistency last week. But it's gonna be taking all of his concentration here to do it again, because he is in P6, long way off of P1, and in wet conditions, which makes it even harder.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the worst track that all that conditions around you is going to get off some of these drive-through penalties. It's probably going to be like a 60-minute race of just pure concentration, just for entire laps of that concentration. You've ended up in the wall with damage. It's such a tricky track to get right, and I think this will be the time challenge.
Yeah, and look at the gap between Charlie and Nelly. I mean, already the gap between these two drivers, 2.4 seconds. So that's absolutely massive after 3 laps.
Yeah, I think Charlie, they definitely got the benefit as well. The better start and just pull that around a second, just on the first lap alone. But he's just extended and stretched his legs out in front now, so he's got to keep it clean with penalties, which has also been another mistake of his throughout the season.
Yeah, and not only penalties, crashes, and well, equipment failures as well. So, but so far he's doing a great job, and I most definitely don't want to commentator curse him. 3.1 seconds at the moment in the lead. So. Doing a good job. The only thing he has to be careful about, and I think we have seen that once this season, as he said, say purple sector there, is over pushing even when he was in first position.
Yeah, when he's in the lead as well, he's only got one thing in his mind, and it's winning by a dominant margin. Like I say, he would use his ERS and just continue to push him, which just left him for some mistakes, because we got a yellow flag from that side of it, and Mike around. Yeah, it was, but he's just been passed through now by Kermit, and Dundee was already ahead of him, so Kermit now 7 seconds behind Dundee, just his own race.
Yeah, and that is a big gap, but well, who knows, everything can happen here, and we have seen that on multiple occasions as well. As Charlie said, a fastest lap, and that's exactly what we were talking about. 1:58 he just wants to show his utter dominance here, and I think Kermit is going in, and Ivan Brian Mike's following him. So does this mean that the rain is getting lighter? I don't think so, but probably it's going to be for a...
As Kiki has no way to spam on the exit.
So let's see why Kermit is pitting. Does he have wing damage here? No, he doesn't.
I think Kermit might be planning to go to the end here on these wet tyres, as you were saying to wear and on heaters a lot less. So if he's pulled this strategy off, he could definitely get himself back into range there of Dundee, if he can perfect the strategy without making a mistake.
He can, and this pit exit as well is so tricky. Really have to be careful there on new tires. But it all goes well for Kermit and Ivan Brian Mike, so let's switch back to Irwell Dundee. No one, as Kiki just retired from the session, probably because he didn't have a wing here. But as there is a virtual safety car, no one is allowed to overtake. They have to stay in the position they are in, as Corber gets another drive-through penalty. That's the second one today. He already had one, which he served because of his jump start there. And Dundee now, look at this. He immediately after the restart of the safety car, he tried a move on Noah J, but couldn't find his way through here. So yeah, he really has to do something special to pass Noah J here.
Yeah, I think it's been a day to forget for Carbo. There's still a long way to go, so he shouldn't give up. But that drive to penalty definitely cost him even more. He's now dependent on the safety car.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the gap after this drive-through penalty is going to be massive for him, as we have another yellow flag, and I believe that was at Pescopo.
Yeah, just spun the exit turn 13, which quite a simple mistake there from that Pescopo, but nothing he will be able to recover from it if he can make half damage.
Yeah, let's check on that if we can see that. No wing end plates missing there, but so let's hope he can continue on and didn't hit a wall too hard there. Back to Dundee, 0.4 of a second. Ooh, a little wobble there on the exit from Dundee, which cost him a little bit of time, and that's not what you want, especially because this is some sort of a straight here. But looks like Dundee is struggling to be so close to Noah J.
Yeah, in the dirty area it's hampering him a lot as well, especially through the exit and all on fives. We've seen he has a massive bubble there, and that just cost his entire one-minute movement. Noah J's he's almost got into a wall there. There's a bit of connection issues there on my end from Dundee, but he's recovered it well. But he's currently 9 times behind Noah J. I thought he'd make it anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think he does. He really seems to be struggling out here to get a move on, to get past Noah J. Every time when he's a second behind, I mean, you still have dirty air, but it isn't as bad as when you're close. But when he is getting closer, he really has some trouble on the exits, and you can see it here as well. I'm not sure if it's only his setup. Maybe he has some issues with his equipment, because he really is struggling, and we didn't see this on the first few laps of this race.
It's very surprising, especially after the only wet race this season. He absolutely dominated, so I'm sure he'll turn it around unless it's some equipment issues on his end. Because Charlie, the front of the field is now 4.5 seconds clear of Nelly. So, as you know, it's almost spun though, just have to say that he's struggling a lot in these conditions, whereas Charlie's excelling.
Yeah, he does, and well, that's exactly what you get when you don't practice. I mean, not a lot of guys practice in the wet, as we have another. Oh, there's Noah J around. Noah J spun on the start-finish straight, which opened up the way to Irwell Dundee. I'm not sure if there was a real incident between these guys, or if he lost it on his own. And ooh.
A bit disappointing there to see from Noah J, but he also set the fastest lap. That lap man was brought out of virtual safety car. It was very disappointing there to see from Noah J, unless he was having some equipment issues at his match.
Yeah, not what you want to see, and probably this is gonna cause a safety car, and there it is. So yeah, for some guys this is great news, like Kermit, Joe Corber, Ivan Mike, Atlas Scopo, and Ray Meter as well, who were a long way behind here. But yeah, not in the way as we saw it from Noah J.
It's very disappointing to see. I'm just off to go get a drink quickly because I've got a bit of an itchy throat, so I'll be back in a minute or two. So
Yes.
I'll let you carry on through the action.
Well, that was expected as luckily Funky Chicken, well, is healthy again, back healthy. No scary virus anymore, but yeah, it tends to itch your throat a bit. So far, Charlie, who is leading, well, since not since the start, but since the end of lap 2, with a dominance in pace over Nelly and, well, actually everyone here who is in P2. Storm is in P3, IRL Dundee in P4, Ray Meter in P5, Kermit in P6, Joe Corbey in P7, Ivor Brian Mike in P8, and Atlas Copo is going to be in P9 once he passes the crashed Noah J, which he just did. So that's going to be the order, probably after some pit stops, where we are, as Charlie is coming in now, where we're going to restart the race. And I wonder, yeah, Nelly is going in as well. Storm doesn't want to, well, double stack, which would cost him a lot of time, so he is forced to continue, but that does promote him up to P1 for now. With Dundee, who's continuing as well on these tires, who is in P2 now. And Ray Meter, I don't think he is. Oh, he's coming in as well for a change of tires, and Kermit is a long way behind that, so he isn't under any threat. Kermit probably won't be pitting as he already changed his tires, and Funky Chicken, but me as well, think he is gonna be finishing the race on these tires.
And I'm back now as well with the drinks, so yeah. It's a bit surprising to see Dundee and Storm staying out, but I think Storm makes sense, especially with the double stack, but he wasn't under any threat whatsoever from Dundee. He was a couple of seconds behind after the Miller incident, but Dundee's a bit surprising, especially to say then I don't think they won't be able to get to the end as he hasn't hit yet, unfortunately. So
yeah, Storm really needed to stay out. He was too close to Charlie, and they would be double stacking, and it would have cost him quite a lot of time, as double stacks isn't really a good thing in this game. I mean, Mercedes could pull it off in real life, but most definitely McLaren can't do it in the F1 game here.
Yeah, there was that update on a few weeks ago, which has definitely helped double stacking a lot, but it's still not as good as it probably should be. So we really hope that it gets better throughout the next year or so.
Yeah, you always need something to improve, and this is definitely one thing that Codemasters could improve. I hope they do. I really do. But let's check in on the stops here. Everyone did stop. Ivor Brian Mike did stop 2 times, except Storm and Dundee. So Storm and Dundee continuing here, and well, a restart could be really chaotic. So that could give them a second chance to stop. But still, as everyone is closed up, then it's going to be costing them a lot of position. So ideally, for these guys, it's going to be pit stop time in, what do you think, around 10 laps from now?
Yeah, I'd say around lap 17 or 18 there for Storm and Dundee. I think that will give them a massive advantage, especially in the tyres, which have been around 10 laps fresher. So they still have a chance in this race, but the pit stop loss around this track is definitely more than 20 seconds. So this will definitely hamper their performance and results. It's going to be a difficult race for them, but they can definitely rely on the safety car.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I'm really curious to see with the restart, as we see Dundee sometimes go for some bold moves here, if he's going to be trying something on Storm immediately at the restart, or well, if we are seeing him struggling like he did last couple of laps, and well, that probably would give Charlie a chance to overtake him, and it's going to be a McLaren 1-2 then.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be the aim there for Storm, just to try hold back and to make it a lot easier for Charlie. And I think Yellow, this time around, he's definitely been given a lifeline in these races. He wasn't fast, but I think that's due to the practice. If he can stick with Charlie for several laps, he's still definitely out of the contention.
No, I completely agree with you on that one. He has had 7 laps of racing now to get used to these wet conditions. He did a couple of laps on the softs in during the qualifying session, so that most definitely would help. But completely different, well, circumstances on track with it being a wet race now. So yeah, and well, knowing Nelly, he adapts really quickly. So probably that's going to be the case here. So I think we're going to be seeing a faster Nelly, or a Jelle Giese, as he's called now, than at the start of this race.
I think everyone thought this race would just get faster if they adapt to the conditions even more, but I think Charlie is going to be the one to beat as the safety car's probably coming in this lap, and Joe Corboy and Mike Canasco got out of the back of the train yesterday, they need to hurry up fast.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. Normally the safety car stays out until everyone is behind the safety car, but yeah, this is bad news for Joe Corboy, who I thought would have gotten a second chance. He is closer than he was, but still not close enough.
This is currently around 3-4 corners behind now, but that gap's just going to come down significantly here as Storm's going back to back up. I think Corboy will reach the retirement after Mike just beyond the Mike.
Atlas Coppola most definitely won't.
Which he has, Corboy hasn't been able to rejoin to the back. As Storm spun it into the pit wall, he's and he's lost his front wheel. I think that should probably be another safety car, unfortunately, there, but that was a little mistake there from Storm, losing the rear end just due to the cold tyres, and he's out of the race.
Yeah, and it is really tricky to keep the tyres in the right temperature window at the safety car restart in the rain, and that most definitely was the case with Storm, who we normally don't see crashing out so much, but today, unfortunately, at the season finale, he is out now. But that promotes Dundee to P1 now. He is the only one who didn't, with a massive mistake there, so that grants a chance to Charlie here, who's going to the inside, a little touching there, but it is a quite difficult corner there, but not yet. Charlie is taking a different line here to get a better exit, but I don't think this straight is going to be long enough for him to overtake Dundee. And I must say, in a straight line, Dundee looks really good, but it looks like he is over pushing a little bit because he's going really wide here, and on the exits he isn't looks to be having the traction he needs here, as again through the inside here, and this is a beautiful corner, but you can see the overspeed here of Dundee. It isn't much, but it is probably going to be enough to keep in front of him this corner. It's a beautiful battle to watch this. And now Charlie gets into the slipstream here. Does he have enough? No, he doesn't. He is taking completely different lines from Dundee here and trying everything, but for now I think he has to be satisfied with that P2.
Well, some brilliant fair racing there between the two, and that's hats off. We don't see that often much anymore in league racing, unfortunately. Managed to keep it side by side, especially through Singapore. We've got a yellow flag as Alpha Towers to come, that's Perez, unfortunately there, and he's picked up the damage from a good position. That Perez Corboy into P5, but yeah, with Charlie here, he has to be patient. If he rushes the move there in Dundee, he's going to force himself to make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Dundee does have nothing to lose here, as he is on the older tyres and still has to pit, and Charlie has everything to lose here from P2. And I must say, even though these two were battling, again Nelly is losing out a little bit because the gap is well extending quite fast here, as Kermit goes into the pits probably for a wing change.
Yeah, it's just what you're saying there, that the front two are definitely the fastest in the field. As I know, Remy just got some good pace as well as he's rapidly catching up to the lead, just showing the pace he had, especially in the qualifying session where he was 0.5% clear for Corboy and nearly ran 3 times better to others in the field.
Yeah, definitely, and so Ray Meter is one who is adapting to these conditions and is picking up speed lap by lap here. So he's the one to watch for Nelly, and I think he's looking more behind him at the moment than he's looking in front of him, because he really is not catching on Dundee and Charlie.
Yeah, I think Remy took around a second out of Joe Corboy this lap alone, just pulling that gap out there to make it even more difficult to get back within range. getting within range of the target, to be honest. But he's rapidly gaining on Yellow Geezer, who's definitely struggling more
I don't know if it is my connection or if it was a slide, but it looked Ray Meter was as Charlie now picking up a penalty. Well, as he is faster than Nelly, it isn't a big problem now, and Dundee still having to pit. But if Ray Meter keeps this up, keeps the speed up, he can be in trouble for the win. So, but first Ray Meter has to find that opportunity to pass Nelly. Well, to be in the to have the opportunity to catch up to Charlie.
Yeah, I think Remy is probably the fastest in the field at the moment, especially on the back of Yellow. He's took around half a second actually in the final two sections alone. So if he can pass Nelly quickly, which I don't think he will, I think Yellow's going to put a good fight at the podium, which he's always done throughout the season. He's never let someone through. He's always fought really hard but very fair at the same time, and has not picked up any penalty, which has also helped him on his path to
Yeah, if Nelly was in trouble this season, which he hasn't been too much, it looked like he was able to make his car so wide. I mean, it's not a skill too many drivers have, but it looked like he could make his car so wide that the guy behind him who wants to pass and maybe was faster, just was demotivated by it.
So it's a bit similar to Hungary 2021 with Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, as Alonso was defending rapidly there. So I think Charlie was having another look for the move there into turn 13, which goes for the cutback, which has a massive slide on the exit here, and I think Dundee is driving phenomenally to Charlie.
Yeah, so that shows that Dundee, when he is freed up, when he is in free air, he is a really, really rapid driver. And yeah, now we had some really beautiful helicopter views on Nelly and Ray Meter here. Ray Meter catching up really quick now, is within a second, but no DRS here because it's a wet race, so he has to do it on his own. Well, he has to create his own opportunities. No opening up of the rear wing here, but another little slide there from Ray Meter at the exit. But I think, seeing his speed, he is going to be able to pass Nelly in probably 2 or 3 laps here.
Yeah, so he's just picked up a time penalty now, final exit, the final corner. And I have to say, Yellow's pace is picking up rapidly. He's gained 6 tenths on that lap to Charlie, who was definitely trying to pass Dundee, but Yellow's definitely put himself in with a chance of getting himself back into contention. Though in his car bike absolutely down the straight, and has probably got some damage there, so I think he collided with the wall.
That's unfortunate for Corboy, who is having a horrible race so far. He has been Mr. Consistent, but not having fun here today on Singapore in the wet. But yeah, as you say, we had two-way battles. But if this continues, we're gonna be having a 4-way battle with Dundee holding off Charlie here a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think Charlie's definitely looking for moving to turn 13 now. He's got a better run, just depends on this corner area to get to the bottom. To hold it in second gear, which is a bit surprising there. He's a lot worse traction there, which has definitely dropped him too far back. Just go for the move.
Yeah, and the same here with Nelly and Ray Meter. I think Charlie and Ray Meter here are the fastest guys out on track, but still they have to find a way past their opponent here, as we have another yellow flag, and I think is that Kermit? A Corboy again.
Shame to see there as he's going to let Mike through so he can continue his race, which is good to see. Good sportsmanship there between the two. It's a disappointing race for Corboy after 2 drive-throughs and now a spin and some moon damage, and it's still probably going to it's still probably going to be right. It shows with the attendance.
Yeah, so he really is hoping for another safety car. We are not hoping for another safety car. We are just hoping that this battle that's brewing here from P1 to P4, they are still a little bit separated, P1, P2, and then we have P3 and P4, but it's getting closer and closer, and this is gonna be a awesome battle. All these guys here, Dundee, Charlie, Nelly and Ray Meter, We have seen battling on multiple occasions with multiple other drivers, and well, the little battle we saw between Dundee and Charlie, if they can keep that quality of driving up, it's going to be a great one.
Yes, really. That's a bit of a look though. I mean, the cars now it's got a bit wide down, and a bit of oversteers to save it. Remy doesn't got to move, he has another wobble there. Remy's definitely looking to move his Dundee's pits for 3 seconds time penalty at the front of the field. And Yellow doesn't look at these conditions. He's two massive players on that ball. Charlie in front of him is only a 10th behind Dundee. It's practically pushing him through this corner.
Yeah, and the same with Ray Meter and Nelly, and Ray Meter just almost pushing Nelly through this corners here. So we're gonna be having something. Charlie taking a wider line here to, oh yeah, and that was the wobble that he was waiting for. Dundee had a little wobble at the exit there, and now he finally found that gap. But is Dundee coming back here? This is a really close battle, but I don't think it is enough for Dundee to reclaim the position, and Charlie found the gap he needed and passed here. So I think, as I thought Charlie was the faster out of the two, I think he's going to be driving away. So if Ray Meter wants to make a move, he needs to make it quickly or he's going to be losing out.
Yeah, and I think Charlie now just needs to push like no tomorrow, which I know we were saying earlier, which has been the biggest downfall this season, but the further he can get away from the better Ray getting the range to Yellow behind, but he's still struggling and he's 2 seconds behind already.
Yeah, so he is well, raking up that gap really fast, and Ray Meter looks to be getting a little bit frustrated. And look at that gap between Dundee and Nelly now, which is only 4.5 tenths of a second. So Dundee really, I think he has had the best of his tires yet. We have seen him struggling well in lap 4 or 5. After that was the safety car. He still needs to come in, the only driver who needs to pit here, but he is going to be holding up Jelle Giese and Ray Meter now, and this could create the opportunity for Ray Meter that he is looking for. Just let Nelly and Dundee fight it out, but he has to really do it quickly, because look at the gap Charlie already pulled to Dundee. It's 2.5 seconds in a lap.
Yeah, it just shows how pace Charlie in advance. We just have to be careful around Dundee. I think we've seen as Ray Meter going to move there, a bit of contact. It's almost sent now into the wall, but well held there for the Yellow easy. But that was a bit of a dangerous moment there as Yellow was looking for the move on Dundee and just had to back out, which caused Ray Meter to go to the back of him.
Yeah, and that I see Ray Meter, but I'm not sure. I don't think, or if you see the same, but he's sliding out of these corners here, so he's really seems to be pushing.
Yeah, I was on board with turn 13 and just had another wobble on the exit, and especially in the full wet conditions, it's very easy to do. It's a very simple mistake, but I think he's trying to do twice there in some corners. So he's going to be near 6 metres, he's going way too deep in that wing damage. That's a big mistake from Ray Meter, and that's definitely cost him a chance of a podium neutral. Unfortunate to see, but it was a very silly mistake. They just went way too deep, missed his brake.
Yeah, he looked to be overdriving a little bit there, just trying to find a gap with Nelly, which he isn't providing here. He got held up a little bit by Dundee as well, so I think Nelly is going to be hoping for Dundee to be pitting really quickly now, so he is able to well, continue his race and not pick up maybe pick up the pace if he is able, but I don't think he's going to be having enough pace to catch up with Charlie again.
And I think fortunately for Ray Meter, he didn't pick up wing damage. He gained 4 tenths for his first sector there, so the Yellow Giese was going to try and get onto the back of him already.
So that is really lucky. I mean, I have seen crashes like that where people have lost their wheel. And he just went wing first into the wall and didn't pick up any damage. Luckily, again, the same corner where Charlie passed him, he had a wobble again, and now Nelly and Dundee are side by side. But Nelly, it wasn't enough for Nelly to win it here. But if he has a wobble here again, it's game over. Ooh, they both have poor traction here, so that's lucky for Dundee. he still keeps P2 on his 14 lap all tires. Ooh.
That was not great driving there from Yellow, and that's going to allow Ray to pass. I think that might be wing damage for both of them as he has sent it up the inside there. Forces Ray off track, but he holds the position. All this battle is clearly for luck, but they just extended the lead by 8 seconds now.
Wow, and that's through a couple of corners there. So, yeah, Nelly went into the back of Dundee, which probably cost him some wing damage. Ray Meter was able to pass Dundee, not Nelly, as they went side by side. And yeah, here you see it. Lucky enough for Dundee, the gap between him and Ivan Brian Mike is 28 seconds. So I think that is just enough to keep in front of Ivan Brian Mike here, even with a wing change.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there for Dundee through no mistake of his own. He's been given wing damage, which is very easy, especially around this track here. But I'd say he was definitely in contention there at the podium, especially with how much Yellow was struggling.
Yeah, and you can see it here as well. I mean, Ray Meter once again on the back of Nelly here. The gap between Charlie and Nelly, 9 seconds. Oh, look at this. No, it wasn't enough for him to stay in front of Ivan Brian Mike, and the gap is 5 seconds, I think. 4.4, so quite a big gap as well. But seeing the pace Dundee has with fresh tires now and a new front wing, I think he's going to be on the back of Ivan Brian Mike within no time here.
Yeah, especially with the much fresher tyres, it's just going to breeze past him, I think. But as he's just going to be probably a bit frustrated at the moment. He has a big snap there to turns 5 and 6. He's just weaving the wheel angle in there, and I don't think it's happening. The drive the problem with the cleanest all season long is just giving him wheel damage. Just ruining his tyre race, but I'm sure Yellow will apologise because it just looks like he misses braking quite a little bit too much, and he's very fortunate to get wheel damage.
Yeah, probably just got a little bit too caught up with the battle they were having with each other, and a mistake. And as you said, Nelly, one of the cleanest drivers here this whole season. But yeah, understandable. Dundee is frustrated about it, but this is the moment. Great drivers could separate themselves from good drivers with, being forced into this position by no mistake of your own, but still being able to keep your head cool and just do your thing you're good at, and that's driving.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to get his head screwed on quickly and just pass Mike and just probably bring it home for a simple P4 without any safety cars, which should hurt him. One thing I've noticed in these conditions, there have been a lot of mistakes just due to lapse of concentration by missing simple braking points like we saw with Ray Meader, Yellow, and just then when I went on board with Dundee, missed his braking point quite a bit underneath the bridge.
Yeah, but he is catching quite rapidly to Ivan Brian Mike here, who is on 10 lap old tires already, so the oldest tires out on track here, and that 4.3 seconds is only 3 seconds now, 2.9 actually.
So yeah, them fresh wet tyres are doing wonders there for Dundee. He's got a massive pace advantage over Ivan Mike. Might have a pace advantage over leaders at the moment. As Ray Meader is falling quite far back at the moment from the other team, he's just a little bit deeper there, just turn 10. It's just showing how easy it is to make a mistake around Singapore, especially in the full wet conditions here, which these drivers showing has got a yellow flag perhaps I think in sector 1.
Yeah, so Atlas Copo not having the best of races as well here, has been pitted, and he has to pit again because he is missing his right wing end plate there.
Dundee has just crashed in sector 2, so all that time he was gaining he's just lost massive with Ray Meader 3 seconds time better, which has just dampened his spirits there as he's hit the wall once again. I think that might be the wing damage. This might be the wing damage he's finally going to get.
That's unfortunate to see, and yeah, Nelly isn't fast enough here today. Has been a fast driver overall, of course, that's why he is the champion, but I must say, just he had some screen time when he was behind Irel Dundee, but Charlie really showing off he can be a rainmaster as well here. What a phenomenal drive, and already 12.4 seconds clear of Nelly here.
He's just amazing to see, especially with Bunsen and Charles Bolton. He's got all the pace in the bag and just hasn't been able to pull it together, and to pull a win at the very end of the season is going to allow him to carry so much confidence forward into the new season.
Yeah, if he can take this into the new season, because he has been shown flashes of it, has been unlucky on a couple of occasions, has made some mistakes of his own, but if he can carry this to the next season, he's going to be starting on a high, and well, maybe this is the race he needed to prove to himself that he is fast and he can compete in this division here.
Yes, that was good, but it's probably probably changing and allowed Kermit and Corby to go through. So Kermit, after making a few mistakes early on, having the quietest race since going under the radars, now P6 has Dundee spun once again, so Kermit might even get P5 here.
Yeah, that's Dundee going in because he's missing a big chunk of his front wing there. But let's quickly switch back to Nelly and Ray Meeder, because these two guys, well, just had a battle for the most part of the race here, and it's gonna be another try. It's gonna be round 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 maybe between these guys. They are, well, really pulling it off, and I think they are gonna be giving us a big show as well. As it's really weird because, oof, big slide there of Nelly, but it's really weird because some laps Nelly is the faster of the two, and some other laps Ray Meeder is the faster of the two. So, well, that all equals it out. So it could well be that they're going to be in this position, in these positions, the whole race.
Yeah, and I'd definitely say out of the two, Ray Meeder's the quickest one, but he's just making too many mistakes, which will be denting his confidence as Cowboy. Dundee, I think, has crashed out and has caused a virtual safety car.
Yep.
Oh, he's missing his entire front wing now, but just going back onto Ray Meeder, I've seen him hit the wall a few times, so he better buy a lottery ticket with how lucky he's been in the race so far to stop the wing damage.
Yeah, let's take him to the casino next time. let's just rub off some of that luck to us, please. I'm really quickly gonna go for my TV remote because the TV wants to go on standby, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, I think Dundee's going to hit, hopefully repair his front wing and just try and carry on and just wrap up P7, because I think at the moment he will still be ahead of start if he retires, so he's not behind. It's cutting every single corner, which isn't filled with any confidence. I think we're just going to see him retiring in the pits, unfortunately.
Has to be careful with the braking zone there. Yeah, I think it's going to be retired from the session. Unfortunate to see him drop as well. So far, 4 drivers who we won't be seeing at the end of the race. What happened there between Nelly and Ray Meeder?
3 second gap, especially the restart. I'm not sure what's happened there, but just a little bit of contact. And I don't know if Ray Meeder has damage or just had a really poor restart there. That's very surprising to see. The gap, yeah, Ray Meeder does not have damage. He gets so much time throughout that one corner alone. But I think that will cost the L if he goes from the pit stops. He'll have to serve that 5 seconds.
Yeah, and both drivers with a 5-second time penalty, so yeah, not what you want, especially, well, I wanted to say especially with Mike behind you, but the gap between Mike and Ray Meeder is 27 seconds, so it's nothing to care about. But what all this did is Joe Corboy is, well, relatively at the back of Kermit here, so probably these two guys are gonna be having their own little squabble.
But it'll be good to see how this match has gone by closing quite rapidly, but Ray Meeder unfortunately didn't get a 5-second penalty. He's just got 2-3 seconds. So he's definitely the faster out of the two. He's gained a second since the restart already, so he's going to be right on the back of the
Yeah, he does, but well, we saw him catching really fast before. At this point, I just wanted to say he isn't catching Nelly that fast, but just in 2 corners he scaved off 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second.
this has probably been the most boring race Mike has ever participated in, but he's probably on for one of his best results of the season with a P4. After he's just been driving beautifully, he just needs to keep it clean, and I hope I just haven't commentated to say this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it. I believe you did it twice this season when he was in a great position. You were saying good things about him, and he crashed out. One time, I believe, I'm not sure what track it was in the last lap. So please be careful what you're saying.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to push anymore. He's 30 seconds behind the drivers in front of 27 seconds behind. He doesn't have to push. He could probably drive at 60% at the moment and finish the race and still finish ahead of him.
Yeah, most definitely. And well, I think Kermit and Corboy are going to be losing a little bit more time to Ivory Mike as well, because, well, Corboy at some point probably wants to overtake Kermit, and most of the times, especially when there's no DRS, it's going to cost you both time to the driver in front of you.
So Remede is about 3.2 seconds out the top, is now only 8 tenths. He has a bit of a wobble already after getting right into the dirty area of yellow ones. Just shows how tricky it is. His yellow one's a bit wide there and hits the wall. I don't know if he's got damage there, but very fortunate if he hasn't. Remede to use all of the RF. Hits into the slipstream and pulls to the outside, but now he puts across. Going down his head's a bit of a dirty move there from the Allegheny, but get away with it, comes out to free. But that wasn't the cleanest there from the Allegheny, as he made a few moves on the straight and definitely screws someone's out quite late and he's very slow to the corners. I feel like he may have a little bit of advantage.
Yeah, I think he does, and yeah, let's not focus too much on the defensive side. It was a bit too aggressive for my liking, but yeah, let's hope these guys can keep their head cool and well, get some good racing in, like I am expecting from Kermit and Corboy. The gap between these two is 0.3 of a second, and we both know, well, both drivers relatively good, and no, they are clean, so I'm really excited to see how this one pans out.
Yes, Corboy's using his ERS, but I don't think there's a straight line speed advantage over Kermit as much as he needs to gain down the main straight. Just going to be relying on Kermit mistakes throughout his middle section to try and latch into the back and maybe able to take out.
Yeah, he really needs a little mistake from Kermit there, probably, because on straight line speed, as you said, he won't win it, or he has to do it in the corner, but that is, well, really difficult around this track. So let's see, Remede catch back up again, 0.4 of a second here, when these guys are starting lap 23 out of 31. 22 out of 31, I'm really sorry. Even my counting isn't going right here today.
But Charlie's dominance in this field, this race, has just been amazing to watch. 20 seconds for the yellow ones.
Yeah, and finally he has someone to look out for, as Kermit picks up a 3-second time penalty, because he's catching up to Atlas Copo. So that's finally someone he can pull up to, and what happened?
And I just went on board with Corboy and Kermit there in the battle, and Kermit has just gone into the wall, and that should be wing damage, and I'd be surprised if it isn't, as he just went wing on the X, and they've both picked up time penalties as well. They were really close to each other, and Kermit just went into deep trying to do that.
That's sad to see, but he isn't going in, so probably, I'm not sure what these wings are made of, but we've seen multiple occasions where there could be wing damage, but there isn't. So yeah, these wings are really strong, and probably that's only for tracks like Baku and Singapore and Monaco.
Yeah, it's just very surprising to not see wing damage there. As I know throughout practice, I've just tapped the wall a tiny bit and I've got red wing damage on one side, so if it only happens in full wet conditions, then I'll hope it rains.
Oh, yeah, so, well, you know what to do in your race next Sunday. But that was Corboy passing Kermit, so let's get back to Nelly and Remede. And as I said, I really think these guys are going to be staying in this position for the rest of the race, because it's the same story all race long now. Ray Meter catching up, not being able to overtake, falling back a little bit, catching back up again. As we're seeing now, 0.3 of a second, and well, it's all race long like that.
Yeah, and I think Ray Meter there just needs to think of a plan there to get past Yellow Geezer. He's not getting past on pure speed, he's just tried for the past 20 laps, but if you could set up an overtake into sector 2, like a bit what Charlie took the better line and he got the better exit and then Dundee made a mistake. He's just not doing that, he's trying to make the move down the straight or to the corner, which just isn't working at the moment, so he needs to switch this up.
Yeah, he really needs to take some different lines and really focus on those exits, because we've seen Nelly having, well, multiple wobbles on the exit. So if he can really focus on the exit of the important corners where there's a straight after that, like this one is a little straight, but well, I think that's the only opportunity for Ray Meter to get past Nelly at this point.
Yeah, Yellow a bit sideways there for the chicane, maybe Ray Meter takes a better line through here, but he's going to stick in the dirt, yeah. Takes a bit of a different line, which is definitely a start there, but Yellow has a better exit, which doesn't have the model, which is
yeah, so he definitely needs a little bit of luck here as well, because he needs a mistake of Nelly probably. But yeah, at least he's trying something now and trying some different lines, which is, in my opinion, the only little tap there on the back of Nelly, the only way to get past him. And I'm not sure if you're seeing it as well, but it looks like the rain has picked up even more now.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much of a difference. It's just been, for me, I've just seen the same throughout everything, but I've not really paying much attention. Got a yellow flag section, which maps, those crashes a bit more. Maybe the only driver that apparently this race, but has made just a few mistakes and he's had a few spins, is 7 when it comes to 7.
Yeah, but even though they started with 11, so that's a couple of positions gained there from Atlas Cobra, so I don't think, I mean, it's not satisfying spinning a couple of times and having to pit multiple times, but even though, he's going to be satisfied in the end, I think, with a P7 around this track.
It's a Ray Meter right at the back of Yellow Geezer and just has a wobble in the traction as well. I think that makes a chance of overtaking it down the range. It's too far back from that little wobble, but Atlas Cobra has probably been one of the drivers.
He's taken a shallower line there, but still, he was looking there, but not. But now he had the opportunity. No, still a good exit there from Nelly, and he couldn't stay side by side here. So it was a try. It was a little battle, but the war is still going on between Nelly and Ray Meter.
Yeah, I think as soon as Ray Meter gets past Yellow here, I think he'll end up pulling the 1 second gap that he needs to stay ahead. He's going to look for a move into turn 13, but no, it's just once again too far back as Yellow's covering the right. As a wobble and Ray Meter made contact with, I think Nelly has avoided the wall, but Ray Meter is now through.
Yeah, and now we're going to see, as we have Yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Oh!
Yellow's just hit the back of Ray Meter, a virtual safety car is out, and another mistake there from Yellow, just hitting another driver in the rear end. Unfortunately, Ray Meter has avoided the wall on that Dundee.
And I think, under this virtual safety car, Kermit made a little mistake, because he's on Inters. And with the rain being this heavy, puddles being out on track, I think we're going to be seeing him in on the next lap, because it's, well, I think it's going to be undrivable on intermediate tires here.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for Kermit, but he's trying something different, which is good to see. If the strategy works out, he could definitely jump ahead of Corby, maybe. I think he's too far back from right. Jumping Corby would be massive for him, especially in like his championship battles this season. Currently, I think probably last on the grid has missed for most of the season. Just don't know what to be honest. I don't think he was too impressive. As his origins below the tyres. It's definitely not interesting. Both Yellow and Ray Meter both 3 second time hands at the exact same corner. Yellow Geezer had a wobble out of turn 5 and it's just put him over 9/10 behind Corby.
Yeah, and he almost has that second, and he has that second now. Just, well, perfect prediction from you here with Nelly. Ray Meter, I'm sorry. and he's extending pretty fast here. I think, yeah, Nelly could keep him behind for, well, a lot of laps, but now Ray Meter's freed up. He's just flying away. I mean, look at this. In this sector alone, he won 6/10 of a second.
Kermit's gone into the wall at turn 14. Just missed his braking point, and then he's just not having the grip that he needs for the corners. It's broke the entire front wing.
Yeah, really sad to see, but yeah, as you said, he tried something different on those intermediate tires, didn't work out. Well, you have to take that one on the chin then for trying something different, but he needs to be careful for Atlas Coppo, because Atlas Coppo is only, what is it, 20 seconds behind him? 15 seconds.
A minute behind him.
A minute and 5 seconds behind him. I'm sorry. So he is under no pressure at all.
Yeah, but Cowboy, I don't want to jinx anything there, just needs to keep on the track, and I think he's got P3 in the standings. Oh, never mind. I completely forgot about Ray Meter. He's in the battle, isn't he, after some brilliant, after a brilliant last few rounds. I think he'll end up with P3, so it's just, I think the battle of P3 Cowboys might be up at any time of that, especially with how unstable Ray Meter's self has been looking.
Yeah, especially on the exit of the corners here. But yeah, he already pulled a 2-second gap to Nelly here. Ivan Brian Mike is 36 seconds behind Nelly there, and Joe Corboy 21 seconds behind Ivan Brian Mike. So the gap between Nelly and Corboy is 58 seconds.
Just shows the margin between the fields, and just a few mistakes that sometimes are made, like Corboy. Like just be crashing down the main straight after the exit of the corner. Definitely hampered his performance there, because I think his pace has definitely been up there, he's one of the fastest. But I think he's definitely the fastest out of Yelly and Mike, but he's just them few mistakes early on has cost him the chance.
Yeah, I jump start at the start. Under the VSC, he got a drive-through penalty again. So 2 drive-through penalties, a wing change. Yeah, not his day, but still, he's out there, he's driving his own race there, no pressure from behind. Well, it's going to be really hard to get close to Ivan Brian Mike, I think. Let's see on penalties what the difference is between those. They both have a 3-second time penalty, so he really needs to close 21 seconds within 4 laps, 5 laps, so that's really difficult to win some positions for Corboy there.
I think Cowboy can definitely be proud of this season. After a bit of a disappointing season last season, just made way too many mistakes. He's turned it around. He's not been as fast as he used to be in quali, but now he's got the mistakes under control. He's so much more consistent, and he's just reaping the rewards, I think is the phrase you'd say. As P4 standings, especially in this field, where you've got some drivers like Ray Meader and Yella and Charlie, who are extremely fast that will beat Charlie, and has definitely got the good like Ray Meader also.
Yeah, and let's not forget Storm, who, well, unfortunately is out this race, but didn't make too many mistakes this season. You got Dundee as well, who's really fast, but made a little too many mistakes here. So a really competitive field here, and especially Nelly has been sticking, well, above all these guys all through the season. But behind him, it was so close, and almost forget about Noah J as well, who, as Corboy lost it there, and that's probably gonna be a late safety car.
Yeah. And I've just commentators cursed him. I am sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe, we were really rooting for you there, really hoping for a good result, but in the end, after 27 laps, it's a DNF. And with not too many laps to go, some drivers really need to get a move on to get on the back of the safety car.
I don't think Charles is going to be too happy about this, as his massive lead has just gone, as Yelly Giesing has picked up a drive through under the safety car, and I think that's going to have any chance he can get, and which might even promote, might if he can get onto the back of the safety car.
Yeah, and probably he is going to be having to serve that after the safety car comes in? Or is he able to do it now?
They're not able to do it under safety car, so
No.
he's going to have to pay. He's going to have to serve it under as Charlie's pit, which I think with the smart option is going to be quite heavy. But yellow geese and not many mistakes this season, and that probably the biggest mistake all season. Biggest mistake of the season.
Yeah, it is. But, well, the championship is in his pocket already, so he can afford to make a mistake now. Better to do it now than halfway the season. Well, and going through the standings for now, we only have 6 drivers left, and leading them all on fresh tires as well now is FRL Charlie, who has really showed his dominance here. He was 27 seconds in front of Ray Meter before the safety car came out, so that's a really big gap. In P2 is Ray Meter, P3 Nelly, P4 Ivan Brian Mike, P5 Kermit, and P6 is gonna be Atlas Coco. But I believe, wasn't Atlas Coco a lap behind already?
Yeah, I think him and Kermit were both.
Him and Kermit as well, yeah.
I think I want to point something out quickly. Ray Meader was 24 seconds behind Charlie when he passed Yellow Geese, and before the safety car was 21 seconds. He was 3 seconds quicker in the space of around 7 laps. So he's got the I think he's got the pace advantage at the moment over Charlie's Yellow Geese. It's just so eager to get going. He keeps just slightly passing Ray Meader under the safety car, but lets him back through, so no harm.
Yeah, but now Charlie is on, well, just fresh tires out of the box. 0 laps on them. So that's going to be a big difference between his tires and the 20 lap old tires of Ray Meter and Nelly, and even the 21 lap old tires of Ivan Brian Mike. And I was just thinking, with the penalties, Nelly having to serve a drive-through, if Ivan Brian Mike can come close to these guys, and with after the safety car restart, not a lot of laps are going to be remaining. He only has a 3-second time penalty. Ray Meter has a 9-second time penalty.
To be honest, I don't think Mike will be able to keep up with Ray Meader, and I do think Ray Meader might be able to pull a large gap as he's going to the pits, which is very surprising. He'll still stay ahead of Mike, which I think will be the crucial thing here, but I think the Yellow Geese in that first lap might hold him up quite a lot, so which is going to provide him to not be able to pull away in like 2 laps of racing.
Yeah, he really needs to keep in front of Ivan Brian Mike here. And if that's the case, Nelly having a drive-through penalty, he's ahead. So that's Ray Meter in trouble now. I think, well, I probably understand what he was trying. I mean, Nelly had to serve a drive-through penalty, or you're getting a, what is it? 20-second time penalty?
20 seconds.
At the end. So Nelly was out of contention there, and he was banking on Nelly to serve that drive-through penalty. The only way he was able to compete with Charlie was on fresh tires, because there was a 20 lap difference between them. But now he has Ivan Brian Mike in front of him.
He's got to make the move quickly on Mike and pull and just push as hard as he can for 2 laps of racing in a or going to stay behind Mike and finish P3. But I think this just shows Mike has had probably the most boring race of his entire life before at Singapore. He's being 30 seconds in behind to drivers in front and around 30 seconds in front of the drivers behind. He's just kept going from the start to finish, and he's found himself in the next P2. And I've probably just commentators cursed him, so.
Yeah, I really didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go into that, but yeah, knowing the history between you and Mike, as the safety car is coming in this lap, you probably did curse him. But maybe me saying this just lifted the curse. So we have to wait and see in these final 2 laps of racing we have left, with Charlie leading the pack, Nelly in P2 with a drive-through penalty, so he gets a 20-second time penalty after he crosses the line at the end of the race, or he has to serve it. Ivan Brian Mike in P3 with a 3-second time penalty. Ray Meter with a 9-second time penalty, but on fresh tires in P4. Currently in P5, he is a left car, and Atlas Copo in P6 as a left car as well. So let's see.
I just hope Mike would get out. Could get out of the way for Mike here with the blue flag showing as Charlie's gone. I think he's caught yellow geese and napping quite a lot there. It's a 1.2 speed up already. Just need to make sure no drivers spin as we saw Storm do earlier on, which I think all through safely, which is good to see. But yeah, I think Kermit's pulled to the side, which is great respect there between the drivers and respecting the blue flags. Remy just right on the back of the line to get past.
Yeah, and he's in a difficult spot now. He has a 6 seconds more, a bigger time penalty. He needs to get a move on, but he needs to be careful as well, because if he makes a mistake in overtaking Mike, who will be defending probably, it can cost them both the race. No, Mike just let him go there, banking on Nelly to keeping him up there, and now the only thing Mike needs to do to end up on the podium is stay within 6 seconds of Ray Meter here.
I think that may have been a mistake there from Mike, because he could have held Ray Meter behind and he's pulled over a second already. The 23 lap difference isn't going to help him. As you were saying there, he's relying on yellow keys to hold him up, which I think he will do. So Mike going to be on the limit, especially with 1 lap left if Yellow's decides to serve the driver and then just 10 20 seconds out at the end. But this is going to go down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, it does, and it looks a lot. 6 seconds worth of time penalty, but with a 23 lap difference in tires and these conditions, and we saw Ray Meter being really fast. One mistake of either by Mike and it could cost him multiple seconds, as we are seeing here, 2 seconds already.
Yeah, Ray Meter just trying to get past the Alleghenies and just went straight into the back of him. He's going 15 to get it stopped just in time. I think this is allowing Mike to stay within the range at the moment. I think Remy will be getting a little bit frustrated in the cockpit, but there's nothing Mike can do. He's trying his best to get past Yellow, who's decided to serve the drive-through. So now we're going to see Remy to push the limit and see if he can break 4.5 seconds in 1 lap. Yeah,
it is a lot, but still, he is in free air now, Ray Meter. We saw his speed here, so this is actually going to be... Ooh, as he goes in deep there and touches the wall. Does he have wing damage there, or is he lucky again?
I think we've got the titanium wings on. I think he's fine with his front wing, but he's just having he's got no control of his car at the moment. He's sliding on the exit corner. He's pushing hard, but I think he's got a lot of work to do, and this is where all the time we've made up.
Yeah, he really needs something special in these last 2 sectors here. To, well, create that gap of 6 seconds. It's 2.4 seconds now between Ray Meter and Ivor Bryan Mike. So that still is, well, 3.3 seconds that he needs 3.1 seconds. So the gap is being created there. He really is pushing as he should be. But is it going to be enough?
That's it. The second and third sector where all the time is made up, especially. So this is where we're going to see the massive tyre advantage on Ray Meter and where most of the time will be in. First sector will be tricky, especially with just mainly a few corners and a large straight, but I think it's 2.6 seconds in 1 sector alone. I don't think it's a lot better advantage.
I am not sure. He sets a purple middle sector there. It's 4 seconds now, so he still needs 2 more seconds there. It's going to be an exciting one. Over pushing there, losing the wing, and that's over. So that promotes Ivor Bryan Mike to a podium position there.
Out of nowhere, this race has just been flipped on its head in this last few laps safety car and this last 2 lap sprint. Ray Meter makes a massive mistake here, which has promoted Mike into P2 after a brilliant drive there, and can he survive? I think he's just going to take it easy up to line, which he does, and fair play to Mike. That's a wonderful drive.
It is, but there's one person out on track who really had a wonderful drive, and that's our race winner of today, FRL Charlie. Yeah, I think I know who your driver of the day is going to be, and mine definitely is going to be FRL Charlie. He was just, well, not one class better than the rest, but so much better. like a division or two better than everyone else out here.
I think we're going to see some donuts here from Yellow Bees in the run-up, or is he just going to try drift? I think he's just going to try drift it around just final corners. Yep, here come the donuts, and I think they're well deserved after this season.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Our champion doing donuts here on the start-finish straight. As well, that is our race done here today. So, well, today our driver of the day is going to be Charlie. Driver of the season, of course, Nelly, because he picked up the championship. Kiki, who picked up the Constructors Championship together with Nelly. So congratulations to Kiki as well. And I must say, we missed a couple of races commentating together, but overall, we've seen a great season here, didn't we?
Yeah, and for my first commentary season, I don't think I could have had a better division to commentate over. Just constant action, brilliant midfield fight, and maybe the lack of championship fight a championship fight could have been the icing on the cake, but we can't have everything, unfortunately. But it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate this season.
Yeah, I completely agree with you over that one. And well, who knows, maybe next season we're getting that close championship battle as well, with multiple people competing there. As well, I am going to be there next season. I hope you are going to be there as well.
I will be.
You will be, so
an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck with us for another season again here. But yeah, just finishing off this race, FRL Charlie, our driver of the day, with the fastest lap, and a dominant victory here today, finishing off. And Ivy Brian Mike in a P2, his best finishing position this season, so congratulations to Mike as well. Ray Meter, who was stuck in a long battle with Nelly, ending up in P3. Nelly ending up P4. Atlas Copo P5. And Kermit in P6, and everyone behind them, Joe Corboy, Dundee, Storm, Noah J and Kiki, didn't finish the race today, but probably we're gonna be seeing them back next season. So, just one more question before we're rounding off. What was your best race of the season?
That's a really tricky one, eh? You put me on the spot. I think I'm going to have to go with Imola. Just because that late safety car spiced everything up. We had, I think, Scuba Steve in the net lead. Oh, we had Nelly in the net lead. And then he pits for penalty, and then Scuba was in the net lead and overtook Nelly. And the last lap he got a penalty, and then which promoted Noah J after a really great drive for the win. So I'm going to ask you the same question now. What was your race of the season?
I was afraid you were going to be asking me the same question as well. And sometimes I think that's my age playing a part there. Sometimes I don't remember things as they were. But I missed a couple of races. I missed Canada. I've missed France as well. But I think Imola was a really good one, and I was just scrolling through and my battery on my phone died. So I'm gonna be leaving here with a cliffhanger. You're gonna be hearing from me next season, and I'm gonna answer your question here. So that was it for today. Funky Chicken, thank you very much for this season. I really enjoyed commentating next to you. Really enjoyed every ounce of racing in Division 4 this season, and I'm really happy we're going to be seeing or hearing each other next season. So that's it for us today. Thank you very much for following Division 4, and see you next season. Enjoy the break, and see you in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.